before I get into this video, I want to say that I will be critiquing AV pretty hard here, and I just want to say that I don't mean to spread any hate or disrespect towards any of the AV staff, devs, testers, whatever. And I don't want anybody to use this video to spread hate. This is just, constructive criticism that I noticed with AV within, kind of the last month. But yeah, enjoy. Anime Vanguards was able to pretty much save itself from kind of just dying out with the release of Update 4 and Update 4.5, since they did very, very well and the community received them very well. And it didn't look like this would be stopping anytime soon, because soon after Update 4.5, we got the announcement that the next update, Update 5, would be Dragon Ball and Devil May Cry, one of the most popular animes and one of the most popular video game genre series of just all time. So it's safe to say that, it was looking very, very promising. Now, when Update 5 actually released, it was pretty much a success, except for the one glaring problem, which was Odyssey. And for those of you who don't know, Odyssey on release and Update 5 was just an entire buggy mess, and it just wasn't fun to play, and it was pretty obvious that, it wasn't like fully tested or just fully complete. It was really easy to tell. Like when people started hopping in, there was just so many problems with it. And while some may say, well, it's just accidents can happen. Not everything can be perfect. The big issue is that we knew that Odyssey been in the works since the winter update, which was Update 3, meaning it had a few months pretty much in development. And well, that isn't always enough time, which people understand. But the problem is the fact that they still decided to push the game mode even though it was clearly not finished. And the overall problem with that is that, the devs have stated multiple times, in stages, that they don't want to rush updates so that they can, ensure that everything is working as intended and, is as the update is as enjoyable as possible as it can be. And obviously, clearly, this wasn't the case with Odyssey. And while this was technically only one game mode, the fundamental issue with this is that it wasn't fun, and with the Dragon Ball update, we didn't get a whole lot of content when we come right down to it. In total, we got 6 new units. Two of them were two of them being mythics, two of them were secrets, and two of them were exclusives or battle pass units. And to evolve these units, you just had to play the story and grind legend stages. And that's all there was to update 6. And then that was it. And then you had Odyssey, which for most people wasn't even something they wanted to touch, since it was just that, unenjoyable to play. Which ends up becoming a problem, because at the end of the day, then there's really only one thing you can do, which is grind legend stages, because you want to try to get the new familiars, because on the surface they are very, very good, and they were very good up until this update 5.5. But it just left a very, very empty room and just gameplay, it felt like, for longtime players who already are kind of pretty much caught up with the game. Only doing legend stages isn't a lot of people's, forte, and that's kind of the problem that, a lot of people had with games like AA, is just the repetitiveness. And when we can only grind one thing pretty much, it isn't fun. And now I would like to take the time and say that I did confirm with, a tester that, yeah, you know, Odyssey wasn't finished. I'll show you the screenshot now, but you can read for yourself. But you can see, yeah, they pretty much admit that no, Odyssey was not finished when it released. And obviously this isn't something that they come fully publicly came out and said, but we can kind of see that with the rework of Odyssey, an update for 5.5. But yeah, no, this was just a very big disappointment for me, especially just with the overall philosophy of, the newer dev team and, not wanting to rush stuff. But, to me, this is, you know, it is a major concern of mine, obviously, and, maybe not everybody feels the same, it's like, why am I bitching about, one little game mode? But, I'm just a little bit disappointed because and worried that potentially in the future we might have similar situations which will not be good for AB, you know, releasing content that is unpolished is not good for the game. So that's just kind of my concern with this. But yeah, that's really all I had to say. I know, um, I was kind of ranting there towards the end, but uh, let me know what you guys think. And like I said in the beginning of the video, don't send any hate towards the devs or testers. They do work hard. I know they do. I talk to quite a few of them frequently. But yeah, like I said, don't spread any hate. And yeah, to the devs, if anybody's watching this, I know some of them like to watch the CCs. Just just consider this was just a grain of salt. This an issue that I had with the update and why I found it really unenjoyable. And I think I talked to a few other people who kind of agreed with me. So it isn't just, me. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.